For those of you joining, first time, and also for even others as well, this is a quick snapshot view. As you can see, about the chapter. Okay, so this, I think, last time some of you would have attended the physical network meeting we had last November. So this is basically an updated snapshot. The same snapshot is updated to the latest. Okay, so we have close to 1204 total members, 1204 members, which is actually a bit up from last time. So last time we have about 1182 members when we did last network meeting. Of course, we are covering both Telangana and Andhra, and with 12 board members, we have 130 plus volunteers actively working. That's how the chapter is driven, including the board and volunteers. And all of you know that the chapter was started way back in the 2001. We celebrated our 20th birthday last year in a grand way. So our last NPS is
Yeah,
40
Praveen from Hyderabad.
net promoter score, and also a satisfaction score of 84%. So this is one of the key metrics we use day in, day out. Uh, Praveen, now can you mute on your side?
You need a panelist password. You need a panelist password.
Praveen?
But I think you can do it, Venkat. We don't have access. We need to.
Okay. Well,
I
yeah,
muted myself. Sorry.
no problem. Okay. So our chapter NPS is one key metric we use to measure the progress. So which is 42, which is actually score of 2020, I would say. So we are actually awaiting the latest scores of NPS post the chapter satisfaction survey last month. 48% retention, and we do one major conference every year, the Jan Lahari. I think some of you would have attended this conference last September. So we do many PDU sessions, which covers our regular knowledge sharing webinars and specific health awareness sessions, and many other sessions as well. And we have more than, I think, close to 2000 now. Saujanya can update latest no self-development goal pledged hours. So this is actually in collaboration with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We are tracking our impact hours as well from chapter side. So we have major associations with organizations like T-Hub, TWED, and so on, and student clubs. We are actually adding more and more student clubs every year. We are an ATP. I think last year, no, we have given update that we converted ourselves to authorized training partner program of PMI last year. So we are continuing that, and we are also a PMI affiliate partner. So any course that you can pursue, like the different courses you see here on the right side, all these courses you can actually get through chapter as well as we are affiliate partner of PMI. Okay, so certifications, this is a quick breakdown of certifications. As you can see, of course, PMP being the major certification, but we do have representation. We do have certification from chapter even in other areas like the micro credential, agile hybrid micro credential, disciplined agile scrum master, no citizen development as well. Okay, so let's move on. This is a snapshot view of various volunteer opportunities for those of you who would like to volunteer. Entire board is here. No, most of the board actually. So you can reach out to any of the board members in the chart. So they can suggest which specific volunteer opportunity you can subscribe yourself and do participate. And of course, I definitely encourage each of you to look at, take part in one or the other volunteer opportunity we have. We have various initiatives at chapter. So it is not just one specific area, it covers all the portfolios of the chapter. So we have student leadership, if you were specific to colleges and students, we have many programs, and we are have an opportunity for T-Hub volunteers, and we are actually publishing books in Telugu conversion. So that is one initiative we have. So these are not only the initiatives but various opportunities available at chapter for you to subscribe. You can access the same through VRMS portal of your PMI login as well. Some of the key updates here from chapter side from last network meeting to now. I think it's more than 2 months now. So we did our last network meeting November 13th, and from last November 13th to now, despite of the challenges we have with COVID, and I think all of you know, and including some of our volunteers and board members also struggling with the new variant. So despite of the challenges, we tried our best to make progress in many areas of the chapter. So these are a couple of updates that you can see. It's actually important updates. One, we continued our winning streak. As you heard last year, no, we won the PMI Global Chapter of the Year award in category 2. Okay, that is 300 to 1500 members. The PMI Global Award. Worldwide, we are the best chapter in our category. So in line with that, PMI Chapter Recognition Award is from the PMI South Asia. So even in that category also, we won the Chapter of the Year Award. So that is the PMI South Asia Chapter Recognition Award. And we, as part of T-Hub Innovation Eco Summit, we made a representation and we received recognition as part of this Innovation Summit, being part of the innovation ecosystem in Telangana. One of our board members, Suma, received a Trailblazer Award, Outstanding Chapter Leader. PMI actually gives these awards every year. So one of our board member is a Trailblazer in this section this last year for 2021. Congratulations to Suma. So we did present our best practices as part of a leader pathway session. That's for the volunteers and board members of, across the South Asia. We presented our success journey so far, which received very well across different chapter leaders. So that's a quick winning streak we continued from last 2 months. And of course, chapter satisfaction survey, all of you would have received email. No, we concluded the chapter survey end of December, last week of December. We are awaiting for the results. Another important update, I think all of you would have seen a mail from me requesting inputs for bylaws. So our bylaws were updated long back, and there is definitely need for certain areas to be incorporated in the bylaws. That's where we have formed a committee with senior members and senior past presidents as well to relook at each and every section of bylaws and look at any changes that we can do. So, no, as I think most of you are aware, we are a registered society and we do have our own bylaws in addition to the charter and the certain guidelines provided by PMI. But we do operate as our own, like your housing society, we do have our bylaws for chapter. So we did relook at most of the sections. We are in the verge of concluding all the updates. So we'll be sharing the document with all of you, all the members very soon. Now, any further inputs any of you have, feel free to write to us, and we can definitely discuss and incorporate that. And faculty pool creation, I think all of you seen a mail again from academy team. We are planning to create a faculty pool for different programs. We do many programs, not only the public workshops, corporate workshops, we do programs at many colleges and so on, and especially in the project management related areas. So we are planning to create a faculty pool for that. So we do have certain senior faculties on board with us right now, but we wanted to create a pool with interested members who want to be interested in teaching. So we did received very good response from the members. Manohar is actually going to update on the evaluation to be very soon. Change in PMI region mentor. So we have a change in, I think this I updated last time. Girish Kadam was a earlier region mentor. His term ended last December. Prasanna is our new region mentor for chapter. These are, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So all of you can see this side, chapter events, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So there are two sessions we conducted from last 2 months. Very interesting sessions. If some of you were not able to attend these sessions, I would definitely encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and look at these sessions. And the LinkedIn session in the month of December, and very recently, as later said last week, we have a session on value-driven delivery approach by Swapnil. A quick what's in plan for future. So one important announcement is the board elections announcement. As all of you know, every year during Feb March timeframe, we do have our elections announcement for board. Okay, so we are expecting a good number of positions to be opened this year. So we'll be announcing that very soon, where you get to know the details. And if any of you are eligible and definitely can spend time as a board member, I would definitely encourage all of you to nominate yourself for the board position. And this is one area I would definitely request each of you to focus and see if you have dedicated commitment and of course eligibility criteria and all that. I would definitely request each of you to join as part of the board to drive forward the chapter activities. And ISLD, PMIPCC, I think all of you know, International Leadership Day happens every year, 3rd of Feb. So this year we are conducting the ISLD celebrations on 12th Feb on request of many colleges. So many colleges are going to participate in this event. It's definitely I would request all the members and any of you have contacts with any colleges and students and your children can definitely participate in this event. We are planning for an agile conference in line with what we did in 2020. So you get to hear more on this very soon. But one request, if any of you want to participate in organizing this conference for us at the chapter, do reach out to us. So we have a key activity for the chapter board predominantly, the annual planning and charter renewal. This is a mandatory process that we need to follow every year. We need to renew our charter by March 20 March this year. So we are planning for an organizational transformation series. I think all of you heard about the transformation series and the transformation especially the PCC 4.0 transformation in last network meeting. In line with that, we are actually starting a series of webinars covering all the latest. We talk about wicked problem solving, citizen developer, and disciplined agile and organization transformation courses. In line with this, we are starting a webinar series in the month of Feb covering all these new courses from PMI. A quick snapshot overview you're going to get. Hope this will help all of you. And we're continuing our knowledge sharing webinars. You will get to hear more about this. And we are planning a series of sessions for the next quarter as well. So you will hear more about this in the coming weeks. So a quick snapshot view of transformation that we talked about. And as I said, as I'm not sure how many of you looking at the certifications, the new tools that are coming handy for you as part of your chapter and PMI membership. If not, definitely I would encourage all of you. There is a series of certifications. It's micro credentials and transformation skills. And we talked about the importance of these three categories, especially the power skills, the business agility skills, and transformation skills. In these categories, there is a series of certifications released from PMI from last year or so. So there are many members already taking advantage of it in improving their skill set. If some of you not aware of it, do reach out to us. We can definitely help out. And at the same time, I would also encourage all of you to go through pmi.org and look at the certification section where you can see a certification framework revamped with many new certifications added for different categories. A quick snapshot view of professional development, especially in the public workshops and corporate workshops that we conducted So PMP public workshop in December we conducted, and also we recently kickstarted a session for Vassar Engineering College in collaboration with that college, and we have many more plan forward in terms of a customized PM certification program for T-Hub, especially the startups in the T-Hub ecosystem, and of course the colleges as well get a good benefit of this. And we are continuing a workshop with our corporates and ACP workshop, and we are also planning a disciplined agile workshop, which is long due from the chapter. So very soon we are going to hear, I think the schedule is about the 22nd to 25th is what we are looking at. If you or any of your friends have any of you want to take these courses, do reach out to us. Either you can reach out to us now in chat box, or you can reach out to board any point of time for further details and schedule. Okay. So on the academic side, wherein, as I mentioned, we have this ISLD day coming up, and we did many knowledge sharing sessions, 8 knowledge sharing sessions, in fact, as part of the PMSF, the Project Management Student Forum at NIT Roorkela. And also NAC, thanks to any of you from National Academy of Construction. So 26 members joined as student members officially for the chapter. And we have also delivered a SLCB Foundation module at Manjira Vidyalayam High School in Ramayampet, Medak district. So some of the snapshots you can see on the right side. So there's many plan forward activities in this portfolio. So we have an ISLD day coming up on 5th, 3rd. Okay, so we are planning series of activities from 3rd to 12th. 12th is the major event where we are planning about 2.5 hours event covering all the colleges doing a virtual session online. And we will be continuing our knowledge sharing sessions with NITR and NACE student councils. And we are also preparing material for the leadership. SLCB, I think all of you know, or maybe some of you may not be aware, the student leadership competency building framework from the chapter to prepare the students for national ready and industry ready. Okay, so this is where we have series of programs and material courses we are developing. So leadership transformation course currently in progress, and our directors will be, our board members will be part of the colloquium in Project Management Student Forum today. And that's a high level updates on the academic side. So I think all of you know the youth and social impact is one of the key focus area from chapter right from the beginning, and many programs we are doing. And I would like to hear from Saujanya to hear updates from last 2 months. Saujanya, over to you.
Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. So using project management for social good and youth impact, it's a wonderful thought by PMI. And the chapter is actually extending arm towards the diversified communities to impact and youth and social good. So we are making a very good progress from past 2 months. If we give an updates, we pledged to more than 2,000 plus SDG hours in this year. And till date, we reached over 1,250 plus students and 4,873 community members, that's villagers and different other communities. And we impacted around 12 plus villages. We are working on 16 plus organizations. They are benefited with our collaborations. And we conducted 40 plus events in this COVID times also, virtually and in person. Whenever we get any opportunity to visit villages or any homes, we did 40 plus events we conducted till now under the youth and social impact. And recently, this is the slide where you can see we visited Ditsampalli village along with Sarpanch, village secretary and all. We conducted a Gram Sabha where we discussed the core problems of villagers, and we empowered them with what are the solutions they can plan and design to solve those problems, and those are all updated in the village. That Gram Sabha resolution was passed and they approved, the villages were approved. Around 150 plus villages were actually participated. It is going to impact 3,000 plus villagers in that particular Gram Panchayat, Disampalli Gram Panchayat. So it is really a wonderful experience for us also, thanks to the volunteers, Rajeshwari, Vijay Vemana, Jagan and all. For cooperating this activity. And also we formed multiple committees. For the village development committees, we formed youth development, that unemployed youth, and education, agriculture, health, hygiene, infrastructure. Many committees were formed, and for the development activities are in process. It's a long journey we need to do with the Disambali village, and it's going on. Next slide, please. Okay. We launched also during the last 2 months, as I earlier in the network meeting I announced, we launched Helping Hands. There's a program called Helping Hands by PMIPCC to the underprivileged children. There are 2 orphanage homes they are joining. We are conducting these sessions bi-weekly. In regional language with a simple English. We are trying to educate the children and provide the knowledge, project management as a life skill. And thanks to Vijay Vemana, Mohan Kumar CH, our volunteers, Rajeshwari for facilitating this, and the backend team, Kashyap, Bhaskar Rao. There are many volunteers behind this program. Bi-weekly, on 5 to 6, we are conducting this program, and the children, you can see the pictures. They're the group children. There are 2 homes presently we are conducting, and we are going to add more children, because we want to go with less than 50 in the starting, and then we want to add more children, because it's a virtual interaction. We need to interact well. So now with the 35 plus students with the 2 homes, we completed 4 sessions till now, bi-weekly, and another session on 5th. So hope we'll continue this, and it's a long-lasting program actually. And also, next slide, please. Also, we launched in December another program, that's our long-awaiting program for MSME sector, small and medium. I think it's in the next slide. Yeah, accelerate. Project management is not just for IT or infra. It's for small, medium, all the industry people. They're eligible to learn the project management as a life skill, and definitely it benefits them to optimize their work, production, many things. So we conducted our first program to the 4 to 5 companies. They joined around 35 plus employees with the age group. Our youth impact also says the youth means up to 35 years. So we targeted through this program, we targeted age group of 20 to 35 years age group we targeted, and we delivered a project management basic session. Thanks to our voluntary Mohit Raj Mathur for delivering this session, and the backend team, Avinash, Dhruv Mathur, then Adil, Kashyap, all these volunteers behind this, the coordination with all the organizations, and they actually conducted the very well. Survey feedback was also taken from these MSME group of people, and after that also we received a very good feedback. So this is another program we recently launched for the small and medium scale industry sectors, through for sharing the project management knowledge. And coming to the Grameen Library, we another Grameen Library at Arunachal Pradesh. We sent books in Arunachal Pradesh. Earlier also we launched another Arunachal Pradesh. Earlier also we established one Grameen Library. Now again another Grameen Library was established. And also we donated laptops with the coordination with the Rotary Club Help. And for that, thanks to Praveen Chintala for coordinating and donating that laptops and desktops to the school children for their library. So, and also thanks to Madhav Garu for leading this Grameen Library initiative under the Youth and Social Impact. These are the updates, and we are looking forward for the more programs from the youth and social impact. Once again, thanks to all the volunteers and our village heads and committee members and all the chapter board members who everybody are cooperating with us for all the initiatives. Thanks, one and all.
Thank you very much, Saujanya. So I really appreciate and acknowledge all the volunteers actually be part of different YSA activities for all the hard work and effort that went into these activities from last couple of months. Thank you. So let me stop here. I'll let Priya is here with us today. So she is head of marketing PMI. She's going to run through the PMI Career Connect. So very innovative and important portal for all of us. Over to you, Priya. So can I give access to you, Priya? You want to share?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Done, Priya.
Thank you. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, not the slides yet.
Priya, do you want any help for sharing the slides?
Yeah, if you can do that, because I'm sharing it from here, but it's not visible, right?
Okay, let me try. Okay. Okay. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to open it.
Sure.
You
Can you
want
see
me
the
to
screen?
try? Okay, yes, yeah, we can see. Praveen. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Venkat, and thank you, team PMIPCC chapter, for sharing this opportunity and helping us to reach out to your members so that they get visibility to what all we're doing, especially the newly launched Career Connect, a platform which definitely will be useful for all the members of PMIPCC chapter and also, of course, other chapter members around South Asia. And not just the members, but also the organizations that they work for, because as you would know, in the current season of great resignation, people are leaving jobs, wanting to find more meaning and purpose in what they're doing. So this is just a humble way of creating an opportunity for the members in the region. So maybe we can go to the next slide. Thank you. So this is basically, it was launched during the PMI South Asia Conference, which was held in December. And as I mentioned, it's an exclusively job portal platform for project professionals and related jobs only in the South Asia region. So what we're doing is we're trying to connect the employers to the available pool of project professionals. It's a small platform to begin with for the region, only catering to the region right now, and hopefully we will try to make more progress by making it more richer and more engaging as we go forward. Next slide, please. Right. So what we did was in December, as many of you may have been part of the South Asia Conference, this was launched in early part of December after running a brief pilot with one of our other chapters in the region, PMI Kerala chapter. As I mentioned earlier, it's a free platform, not just for the employers, but also for the job seekers. It's for India, South Asia, and Bangladesh, these three countries in the South Asia region. Why Career Connect? It actually came as a feedback from a lot of organizations in the region who were looking for project professionals, and at the same time, a lot of them were leaving their jobs during the COVID pandemic in the last 2 years. So unfortunately, the organizations were not finding the right kind of people. So we said, why not create this platform for the organizations? And also, of course, we'd heard a lot of people leaving jobs. So this is, as I said, is just a small way of the South Asia office in PMI to give back to the profession. As a job seeker, many of you may be seeking jobs or maybe looking at alternative options. You can always apply for the job alerts by going to this platform. And as a hirer or employer, all you need to do is register on this platform, fill in a form that will help you to fill out the details of what the job description that you're wanting to promote. And the candidates will, the applications will reach out to you through email directly. Next slide, please. So as I said, we had run a brief pilot, and as all of you are project managers, and you would know, we would also want to make small progresses, see how it is going, go back to the drawing board and see if there are any corrections. So we did this pilot with a Kerala chapter. So the idea was to check for any, I wouldn't say it's foolproof. We always, as any project, there will be a lot of progress and improvements that can be made, enriching experience for our users. So the idea was we ran the pilot ahead of the launch with the Kerala chapter to evaluate the efficacy and usability of the platform. Next slide, please. And very short period of the pilot, but we had very good heartwarming feedback from the Kerala chapter. They had 16 job postings, and they had 46 job applications during that short period. 33 of them applied for the job alerts. So what we heard from them was, in terms of what we can do better, is we need to have more diverse jobs listed on the platform, importance of one-to-one relationships with organizations and corporates so that they can make use of this platform. And of course, as any portal would have, we need to have support or kind of a customer support ID created for this platform. So in case of any issues, they can always reach out to us directly. So these are the small learnings that we had, which of course will help to make the program robust. Next slide, please. And some of the organizations who have already used this platform, and some of them continue to use it, are listed here on your screen. They're all largely the organizations which the Kerala chapter helped us to reach out to. They made use of the platform, they posted the positions, and we've also awaiting feedback on how many of them actually got hired using those positions. So Cisco, Infosys, of course, are well-known names. A lot of other premier organizations, Experian Technologies, DRD Communications, Bhavan, UST, Alexa Labs, Alliance Consulting, Vidya, and Tangential. Next slide, please. So what we've done so far as part of a post-launch, like any product launch or any project launch would involve, we've used the best of our resources that are available in our region to help to reach out to you as a member so that you come to know about this. Or it's just an overview of what we've done. So I don't want to go into the details, but we've tried to reach out to you through the South Asia newsletter, which is Manage South Asia on our website. We've promoted it, as you may have seen. We've also reached out through the social media, and we continue to reach out to you to help you to get more awareness of what are the job listings out here, and also for employers so that they understand how beneficial this can be to promote their job positions. Next slide, please. So here's where we are today in 1 month after we promoted the Career Connect platform. We have around 33 active job postings, which you can go and reach, look out for if anything is of interest to you. We have had 126 names or users who have logged in and registered as employers. We've got 148 job alerts subscribed to. So this is where we are today, and I'm sure this is just a small beginning, and we're looking at promoting it to more and more members in the region so they benefit from this. Next slide, please. So I'm sure by now you may have wanted to know what does it look like. So if you log into pmi.org.in/career-connect, of course, we'll share that, we'll type that in the chat box for you to just quickly log on to that. This is like the front facing look of the platform. As you can see, we have the job alerts on top and employer login here in these boxes. You can see the purple boxes. Next slide, please. So as you click on job alerts, all you have to do is select the experience that you have, and based on that experience and your, if any job postings are within that job experience listed, you will get alerts on your email ID. Next slide, please. And this is a job filter. You can, of course, there are only 33 active jobs right now, but based on what you can see using the job filter, you can very well, shortlist what you're interested in. Next slide, please. And this is where, once you click on the employer login purple button, this is where you land. And as you can see, if you're a new employer who's wanting to register, there is a box that you need to, there's a form that you need to fill in. And if you're already registered, obviously you can just use your username, password, and start browsing what all jobs have already been, or rather CVs have already been come to your login. So very, very simple platform to use, not just for the employer, but also for the job seekers. As I said, this is a humble way of the South Asia region to give back. As we get feedback, we will try to make it more and more robust and more engaging. Next slide, please. So what's in it for you? If you're looking at as an employer or a hirer, this is, as I said, you can right away jump into it and start putting out jobs that your organization is looking to hire. These postings, of course, will be also promoted through PMI South Asia's various platforms, whether it's the Managed South Asia or the monthly emailer that we will be sending out to showcase active job listings. Small and medium enterprises, as I heard earlier in one of the slides by Venkat, or was it Saujanya, I'm not sure, but small and medium enterprises in your region will definitely benefit because they may not have the budgets or access to the pool of project professionals. It could be even the NGOs in your region who would want to reach out for hiring project professionals. And of course, chapter members get to know about active job postings. So this is what I wanted to share. I'll be happy to take any questions from any of you who may be interested in knowing more. Thank you. And of course, this is my email ID. In case questions don't come to you immediately, we will be more than happy to take it in email. I just see something was posted in the chat.
Yeah, somebody is asking for a link for the Career Connect, Priya.
Yeah, I think Suma has already posted. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Suma.
Right.
And there's one more question. Can we have the site name for job seekers? Okay, that's the same one which Suma has posted. And so the mandate for the South Asia region is, of course, to cater to India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, these three countries. Alpa, if I may ask you, any specific country you're looking at, of course, if you're looking at jobs to be posted, which could be outside of the country, but meant for the region, like if you're looking for hiring project professionals from the South Asia region, but it could be a posting somewhere outside. Yeah, of course, this platform is more than available. But for job seekers outside India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, so far we are not catering to that. Hope that answers your question. I think those were the questions in the chat. I see roles out there. Yeah, so this is project management and related positions. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, the more and more we reach out to organizations, there will be a lot of specific project related positions out there which will be available to you. This is just the first month of since we launched it. So we will be seeking support from PMIPCC chapter and of course all the other 10 chapters in the region to get more employers. And we very well know that the efficacy or the I would say the success of the platform will lie in more positions being enlisted here, so that more job seekers will come and get benefited. So that's the idea, and hence through such meetings we want to create more visibility for the platform. So it's not just limiting to a certain region or certain people who may be continuously in touch with PMI, but a lot of members out there who may not be on a consistent basis, getting updates from PMI or maybe having visibility to what PMI does. So this is just, one of the steps that we are taking. So going forward, we will be also reaching out to other chapters. So you could possibly have positions, visible to you, which are not just limited to say a Kerala chapter or the, Hyderabad or the Andhra Pradesh region, but beyond that. And as you know, we work in a virtual format. So nowadays it's not just about the geography that you are physically part of, but you could be anywhere and you'd still, you could be anywhere in South Asia and you'd still be able to reap the benefits of this platform. Yep, I think, yeah, so Alpa says Malaysia and Australia. So unfortunately, this is restricted to job seekers from these 3 countries right now. And if this platform becomes successful, I'm sure our friends, our colleagues in Asia Pacific would definitely want to replicate this. But other than that, we have something called on the global platform. We have something called as the career board, which is available to if you're looking for any global positions. There are of course other positions that are being promoted there on pmi.org. Career Central is where you can go to, and job board is where you can look out for. But again, as I said, this is a free platform. As an employer, if you want to post any positions beyond the region, that's something which you can definitely look out for. So any more questions? When you plan for India implementation and intended? No, this is already launched, Manish. This is launched in December, so definitely go and jump into the platform and use it. Yes, Ram Turaga is asking when can we expect jobs in other domains. Yes, it will be project management and related or allied opportunities. So definitely it will be a broader, scope for all of you who may be, looking for job opportunities, just bordering on project management as well, or project managers who are looking at, hiring somebody in their team, which will be allied to the project management roles. Thank you, Kalyan. Yep, I think those were the questions which have been posted. As I said, you can definitely feel free to reach out to me. I'll once again put my email ID in the chat and look forward to your feedback as well. Because as we are looking at promoting the positions, we are also looking at very critical feedback from you so as to make the platform more robust and more useful for you. Thank you. Thank you, Venkat. Over to you.
Yep, thank you. Thank you very much, Priya, actually, for taking time today and joining us and explaining the portal in detail. Thank you very much. Okay, so
thank you.
Yeah, so let's move on to our next session. We have VSR with us here. So I think most of you may be familiar with VSR. He is not only the past president of the chapter, he's one of the founding chapter members, and also he's an author. So he's going to talk about his book also today, and he's just chief digital officer. And I can go on and talk about VSR for about an hour, but let's hear from him, and I want to give. More time for him. Over to you, VSR. You're
You're on mute. You're on mute.
no, we can't hear you, OBS sir.
Yes. Can you speak now? I think you got unmuted. No, no. Now, yeah. Now you can. Now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, done. Just let me. Yeah. Thank you, Venkat, and PMI City chapter for inviting me to speak something on so what's happening in the world today, especially everything is driven by technologies, and especially project managers have to play a very different role compared to the past, right? So I would like to set the tone for today. In which revolution of industry we are in. So that means we are in the fourth industrial revolution. I'm sure some of the people might be following. So the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third and fourth. The first industrial revolution was prominently driven with the steam engines. That means the mechanization or automation happened with the steam engines. So the second industrial revolution happened, electricity came into picture. So electricity has played a very vital role for all these automations and the other things. Third industrial revolution happened especially with the information technology and electronics. I'm not talking about only IT industry here. You take manufacturing industry, you take the power plants or oil and gas, banking, then retail, hospitality, healthcare, whatever, different industries, electronics and information technologies played very, very vital role. But now we are in the fourth industrial revolution. Now the fundamental questions what we need to ask, do you think the project management, what we did in the first industrial revolution, second and third, and now what we need to do is the same, or the context changes, or the risks and challenges what we face are different or not, or any new skills and a new talent needs to be acquired, and what all the changes needs to be brought in, especially in the fourth industrial revolution, in whichever the industry you are in. I'm sure you know that the projects are emerging basically from the strategy, right? And PMIPCC also pretty prominently promote the project portfolio management, program management, and project management. I'm sure you all know that all these three are important. So as per the organization expectations, organizational needs, and as per the market trends, shifts, and what improvements they want to do internally, and then what is the competition doing and all, you have to identify the internal projects. The projects could be IT projects, it could be production related, supply chain related, logistics related, whatnot, right? So different types of projects getting emerged. Okay, now the beauty here is, what is the change we observed in the fourth industrial revolution? That's where we all need to understand. Okay, so next slide, let me move. Look at here, this is what's happening today. The technology fusion. If you look at information technology, I'm sure 60 to 70% or maybe 80 to 90% people joined here are from information technology space. But there is another technology which is there for many decades called operational technologies, which IT guys never looked into. The operational technologies means if you go to the shop floors, for example, in the manufacturing, you have programmable logical controllers and CNC machines, sensors, actuators. So there were so many technologies, but they were mostly proprietary in the past. Those are called operational technologies. Today you are calling IoT and the other things. But there are again communication technologies which were there, but today they are pretty much popular, like 5G or short-range transportation networks like your 6LoWPAN, LoRaWAN, Bluetooth. All these things are there. Finally, the collaboration technologies like we are now using WebEx or maybe Microsoft Teams or video conferencing, telepresence, and tomorrow Metaverse. What is the beauty here is all these things in the past were isolated, very proprietary, but today they got converged. They are fused just because of the internet and other technological innovations. When all these technologies come together, look at here, the right side, how many? Almost 20 technologies are driving now industries. If you look at most of the times, what are the changes you want to bring in the industry in the past or now? Usually people call it as a pestle analysis, like political, economic, then social, technological, environmental, and legal. That's where if any organization, if you look at what is the reason for change, these are all the reasons for change. But technology was always an enabler in the past out of this pestle. But today, technology has become a driving force for the organizations. In addition to whatever we are talking about, the political, economic, or environmental, legal, regulatory, social, and all, the technology has become driving force in the first time in this century because of the convergence of these technologies. That is called, I call it as a modern cyber system. When all these technologies got converged, it is called modern cyber system. So with this modern cyber system, manufacturing industries, healthcare, banking, retail, high-tech, telecom, oil and gas, whatnot, all industries are getting impacted from top to bottom, unlike in the past. Okay, so let us go to the next slide now. So I call this as a modern cyber system. Okay, when I say modern cyber system, with the fusion of multiple technologies, what is that we got, which we did not have? What additional capabilities you have? Look at here. Number one, you are able to connect now things to things. Car is talking to car, machine is talking to machine, or people are talking to machines. That means people are able to communicate with cars or washing machines, whatever, through mobile phone or whatever it is. So number one, people to people, people to things, and things to things are getting connected in real time. That's where you see now it's not only the human beings, you also see the digital workforce. It could be robots, it could be cobots, it could be chatbots, it could be virtual assistants, which was not the case. That means what? Your work environment is going to change. Your colleagues, your boss, your competitors are also changed. So we have to look at entirely a different environment you are able to have because of this modern cyber system. And you are able to get the virtual brains because of this modern cyber system, because of the artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms and all. Then with this modern cyber system, you as an organization able to provide the information or services, irrespective of whatever industry you are in, from anywhere, anytime, using any device. I'm sure today you get the information and services through mobile phone or a tablet or a wearable device or a car console, it doesn't matter. This is all possible because of the technology fusion. Then you can get into an immersive environments like metaverse. And most importantly, during pandemic, we're all experiencing, there is no need to travel. Most of the works can be done remotely through real-time communication, collaboration, which is really becoming pretty much popular now. And that's the power of, again, modern cyber system. Then human interventions will be nullified. You saw the news in China, one of the manufacturing industry replaced 90% of their staff with robots. Everything is done by robots. It's an autonomous operations. Okay, of course, you all know that computing, storage, and all these networks are also gone. Now you need to ask a fundamental question. If these capabilities are in the hands of the organization, what is that so many innovations you can bring in? What product innovations, service innovations, and operational efficiencies, what new opportunities they can create, new markets they can penetrate, new customer segments they can acquire. Unless you get all these things, no point having this modern cyber system, right? The next slide. So with this context, now let us look at, so what is this modern cyber system and how it is impacting? Can we go to the next slide, please? I am sure you heard about Industry 4.0. Many people are talking about. Now I talk about modern cyber system. That's where I think till now I spent in the last 8 minutes. This modern cyber system is impacting the physical systems like manufacturing, electrical, optical systems. That is called cyber physical system. It is called Industry 4.0. I differentiate fourth industrial revolution with Industry 4.0 because fourth industrial revolution is a bigger umbrella. When this modern cyber system is impacting the public healthcare system being driven by the governments, or public education, or citizen services, okay, or governance, then it is called cyber social system. That is called Society 4.0. When this cyber system is impacting the organizations, new business models, new processes, new products, then it is called cyber enterprise system. It is called Enterprise 4.0. I'm sure now you know that this modern cyber system is already impacting your human body, the genome, genetical engineering, brain-computer interface, where the modern cyber system is also impacting your biological system. Then it is called cyber biological system. So this is where I wrote a book called Lean Digital Thinking, Digitalizing Businesses in a New World Order. I clearly explained these concepts. What is Industry 4.0? What is Society 4.0? Okay, now you have to ask yourself, if the modern cyber system is impacting this much, what is that project management perspective we have to bring the change? Next slide, please. Okay. Traditionally, in the last 60 years, if you look at most of us or most of the people in different industries, we automated business processes or industry processes with the technologies. Whether you call operational technologies, which is used in the shop floors and other oil and gas industries and all, or whether it is information technology used for supply chain management, process automation, inventory process automation, or HR, finance and all. Mostly we focused on process, business processes. If you go to industry processes, probably the production processes, manufacturing processes were automated using operational technologies. But today in the fourth industrial revolution, you look at this modern cyber system, what I spoke, is impacting 12 areas, not just business process. That's where when some people say technology is a driving force, they will debate and vehemently say technology can never become a driving force, but this is a challenge for them. Guys, look at the technology is impacting the whole anatomy of organization. It has become a driving force. It's not limiting to automating few business processes. Look at that. For example, the technology, that means the modern cyber system, is creating new business models. Let us take a bank. The bank is creating a new business model in such a way, it's like Airbnb or Uber or Ola. It built a platform into which it enrolled the real estate providers. And there, the customers are already there with the bank. Millions of consumers, right? Bank customers. And they brought these consumers and the real estate providers, maybe 100, 200 real estate providers onto the same platform, like Airbnb, like Uber. There is a matchmaking. If I want to purchase a house, I will go and do the preferences. It has to be nearer to the school, nearer to the healthcare system, nearer to my office, XYZ, the preferences. Then out of the 100 plus real estate providers enrolled into the system, you will get the top 4, the best, whatever, villa or residential, whatever, apartment and all. Then why bank is doing all these things? Once you select your preferred villa or apartment or flat, bank will facilitate the loan for you. So bank played as an aggregator. This new business model emerged just because of the modern cyber system, which is a technology fusion, right? So now let us come to another example, product. I always say this, probably 1,000 times I told. The bed sheets have become today software defined bed sheets. In the bed sheets, there are sensors, there are chip, there is a software, and with the remote control, you can operate the temperature of the bed. Left side, I can have a little bit cold, right side, I can have a little bit hot. And when I lie down on the bed, I can even automatically switch on the lights, what is required for me in that room, ambience, whatever I want. It can switch on the music, what you want. Everything you can configure in the mobile phone when you lie down on the bed, what you want in that room. The bed sheets have become so intelligent. That means what? The products today, cars, machines, equipments, bed sheets, chairs, everything becoming software defined. There is no product probably going to exist without sensors, embedded software, chip, and connecting to 5G or other networks, and then to your mobile. So that's where I think this modern cyber system is changing the complete landscape of the products. Let us take another example, baby diaper. I'm the CEO of a company, so I want to design a baby diaper, which I've been there in the industry for the last 50, 60 years. I'm the leader. The parents watched me, drove me were rashless, smooth, absorption, etc. But today, let us say a new startup came with a baby diaper with sensors, which measures the body temperature, blood pressure, and other health indicators, and has the electronic chip with software and then connecting to the mobile phone through 5G. Mom or dad sitting at office can see the health indicator of the baby. Don't you think this is an innovation in the product? Imagine now the old CEO who has been there for the last 40 years might lose the market in the next 3-4 years when this startup pick up. So the products have become completely intelligent, including autonomous cars. So the modern cyber system is changing the product spectrum completely. Today, can you expect any service from banking or telecom? So if you want to get the information from mobile phone or a tablet or a laptop, or you want to get the services also, that's called omnipresent. So that's, or you want to get the services through social media. So the services spectrum is completely changed because of this modern cyber system. So I'm not spending too much time, but what point I'm trying to emphasize here is we have to come out of this process automation paradigm. That is not the only thing the technologies are impacting. The technologies are impacting the whole anatomy of organization, that is called 12 building blocks. Look at there. And there are 4 clusters. If I'm the board of directors, one of the board of directors or CEO or CXOs, I have to look at the topmost one. Oh, okay. So CXOs, board of directors, always thought in the past the technologies were the job of the CTOs and CIOs, mostly cost overhead. But no, it's not like that now. Now the technology has become a very important part of the board of directors discussion and CXO's discussion. The chief information officer has become the member of the board and reporting to the CEO, and is playing a very vital role in designing products, services, processes, not just applications and infrastructure. This is one key message I would like to give you. That means what? The projects coming from all these 4 clusters. One is designing the future, the blueprint. The second is the technology foundation, and products and services are getting completely digitalized. The workplaces like shop floors, smart factories, real estate, retail stores, if you go, and there is a humanless retail stores are coming. They are the smart workplaces. These things will create new set of projects, which are even business projects, but highly technology-driven projects. So the functional guys, the domain, the industry domain guys, functional domain guys, business domain guys, the engineers, everybody have to understand that technology is touching every nerve of the organization. There are new projects are getting emerged, which we need to understand. This is another important message. I also clearly explained this in my book, how these 12 building blocks are getting impacted with this modern cyber system. This is one key message I would like to give you. So you all need to look at, I am sure you are from different industries, technology, that means the fusion, IT plus CT plus OT plus ST plus etc. etc. Tomorrow something else will come. Of course, biotechnology is also getting added. playing a role in the pharma are impacting the whole anatomy. Next slide, please. Okay, now with this background, you want to execute your whatever projects or your organization you want to drive digitally. That means you want to make your products digital, services digital, business model digital, processes digital, workplace digital. What you think traditionally? I am probably something there in the industry for the last 25 years, but I don't much understand about technologies and digitalization. But my execution seems to be digital, but I have still in my brain, my thinking is traditional. Then it leads to successful failure. That's where I think a new thinking is required. For all of you, it doesn't matter what role you are playing, whether a functional role, domain role, project manager role, engineering role, it doesn't matter. This is where we come up with, I've defined something called a new manifesto. I'm sure you heard about design thinking, critical thinking, computational thinking, systems thinking. There are so many thinkings are there, but there is a need for a new thinking, okay? So I introduced something in my book called Lean Digital Thinking, which is first of its kind in the world. If you want to really understand the digitalization in holistic perspective, you need to understand what is this lean digital thinking. Next slide, please. So like I'm sure most of the people understand lean. Lean was introduced in 1910 around, which was not named as a lean, but used by Ford. After that, Toyota mastered and became superstar using lean and lean manufacturing. They were the sort of superstars in that space. But lean was introduced probably in the era of second industrial revolution, where electricity was playing a vital role. But we are now in the fourth industrial revolution. So when you say that the 12 building blocks or anatomy of organization getting impacted, then so we have to really look at that, how basically we have to ensure they become digital. So this is, look at here, there are 4 areas where you have to think different. Okay, so let me start number 1. So first thinking process here, create better today and better tomorrow. That means you cannot ignore your existing projects or existing project methodologies or existing businesses. At the same time, you cannot ignore the future. That's where you ought to also have the today and tomorrow, the conventional and also digital. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm sure how many people agree with me, today customers are not able to give the requirements as they expect. They're all evolving. That's where, okay, you call about Agile and all those things came. Unfortunately, maybe 20 years back, we used to say to the people, the scope is frozen. There is nothing like frozen in the scope. Scope always changes. But now, so why Facebook is releasing probably every day 10 code drops, or YouTube is releasing many code drops. Or in the past, if you look at the ERP applications, 18 months, 24 months was the upgrade cycle. That means they used to upgrade the softwares after that much time. But today it is 3 months, 4 months, new versions are coming in. Why? The changes are rapid. The consumers, the customers are expecting continuous newness. So you have to acquire a mindset that the change is constant, and also not only constant, it is instant. And third is new skills have to be acquired. So you are a project manager. Then we are talking about very new innovative projects covering the whole anatomy of the business or organization. 12 building blocks, the projects will come. It's not just only process automations. It's not like only ERP or a cloud SaaS products or custom built applications in the technology side, or it's not just simply developing some traditional car. It is an autonomous car development is a project, right? Or it is modernizing a retail store by adding a AR VR type of a mirror, where when the customer comes, they can test their attires using that AR VR mirror. Or they can have the aisles in the retail store with the sensors, where you will know the price of the products through your mobile phone. The mannequins are intelligent enough to tell you what is the attire they wore and what is the price of that. All these things required to introduce new projects, right? That means you have to acquire new skills as a project manager. It's not just simply traditional, you also need to acquire a little bit of technological equipment. Okay, so like this, there are 12 principles. Another important thing I will tell you now, you as a project manager, okay, predict, improve business performance, for example. Not only project manager, I am telling here, this lean digital thinking is required from the board of directors, CXOs, senior vice presidents, business heads, technology heads, all roles in the company have to acquire this new mindset. Okay, let us say predict and improve my business performance. If I am the CEO of the company, I cannot go with my gut feeling or inputs from few people, right? Today you have a lot of data sources are available. You can simulate, you can see the future, okay, with the artificial intelligence, machine learning, virtual algorithms, there are all the virtual brains. So I can predict that in this particular segment, these customers are attritioning more and more, so I have to take, the system itself can give the recommendation. So you have to have a mindset that I should be able to predict and improve business performance. Then optimize human interventions. When you are doing the work, any opportunity exists with the different technologies where human interventions can be removed. Today, help desks are managed by chatbots. I'm sure you know that. Most of the answers are given by automated chatbots. So why human beings are required there? So if you look at help desk automation or help desk digitalization project, you have to look at how the human beings will not be there, but the chatbots will be managing the help desk. Or if you go to the shop floor, as I said, China, so 90% of the human beings are not there. So you have to think now how I can execute my work with less human interventions, right? So like this, you have 12 principles. And these 12 principles will play against what? Those 12 building blocks in the previous slide I show you, right? The anatomy of the organization. So if somebody says that I am digital, then these 12 principles you have to apply. Okay, our process is digital means what? Oh, do we have these 12 principles to say our process is digital? Or our product is digital? Oh, all these 12 principles are there in our product to say it is digital. That's what the concept I introduced in my book, Lean Digital Thinking. Okay, now let us apply this contextually to, Venkat, can you go back to this building block once again? Yeah, look at here, these 12 building blocks. So the project management comes here only here. In the business process, I consider project management is one of the business processes, very important business processes. I am not going to talk all these 12 building blocks today. Okay, business processes, again in organization, you will have 14, 15 business processes. It could be HR, finance, inventory, supply chain, production, sales, marketing, after sales, CRM, whatnot, right? There are so many business processes are there. So look at now, when I say digitalization, these 12 building blocks, out of that, in the business process, today I'm going to spend some more time, another 5-10 minutes on digitalizing a process called project management process. Only one process I'm talking, like that you'll have so many processes in the industry. Now let us look at how I can digitalize this project management process. Yes, you go back to that, applying these 12 principles, we'll show in the next slide. It might be small text, let me see this, okay? So what I did now, these are all the 12 principles, the lean digital thinking principles. Then I applied example on project management here. Look at here, okay? So let us look at one by one now. So when I say better today and better tomorrow, support conventional projects and also digital business projects. That means I cannot kill my project management, what I have been doing, because the conventional business is already there. But you also need to look at what is that digitalization we have to do in such a way the future projects are also executed exceptionally well. Then in the project management context, embrace constant and instant change. That means, as I said, the customer looking for continuous newness, or consumers precisely, and your customers have to make sure that the consumers what they want to add that in their products and services. For that, maybe some solutions required. you cannot say that I can't change this, it will take some weeks and days and all. So as a project manager, you have to look at how I can absorb the change as per the market and customer needs, right? So do we have such type of system? And next is, as a project manager, so are you acquiring the new digital skills where, for example, artificial intelligence, machine learning, AR, VR can be used to manage the projects effectively and efficiently? How? Next is non-value adding activities within your project management, in the project engineering and also project management life cycle activities like initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, or any projects like it is an automotive project, the engineering activities are different. If it is a defense, the engineering activities are different. I'm sure the lean is nothing but the 8 ways. How do you eliminate them? But using digital technologies, can you eliminate those non-value activities? Agile is only one aspect, but today you have to ask yourself, if this modern cyber system I bring in my project management process, can I eliminate all these non-value adding activities? Next, most of the times I used to say when I was in industry, working in a corporate, as a project manager, you should be able to predict the future at least 3 weeks to 1 month. As a delivery manager, 3 months. As a CEO, at least 3 years about your future. That means your business future, your project future. So, but today you don't need to worry too much about it. You can use the data about the project. You can use artificial intelligence and machine learning. So am I able to predict the future of my project? What is the cost? What is the time? What is the scope? What is the time? Cost and all, right? Cost, time, quality, scope. All these elements can you predict, and the automatic recommendations, can you get it from the system, how to manage the project? So that's what another thinking you have to acquire. Then human interventions. Can I minimize human interventions in my project management life cycle? Why I need too much of, one example, status cards and data collation, risk registers, all those things. Why? Why not I automate it where it reads all the systems where the data is captured about the project from different stakeholders, from different domains. Automatically, the system should give me, this is the risk register, this is the issue register, and this is the status card. I don't want people to collect the data manually and creating status cards. It is beyond dashboards and reports. And also there will be intelligence, right? So then real-time contextual communication, I'm sure you're experiencing today, without even traveling, we are able to manage the project. So why you need to travel? So we have to integrate that more and more, part and parcel of project management. And other interesting thing is when you are executing when you are executing the projects today, most of the projects, irrespective of industry, most of the projects, whether you are in manufacturing, healthcare, or retail or bank, with technology, it doesn't matter what industry you are in. The technologies will be part and parcel of domain projects. Then you must take safety and security. You as a project manager needs to understand what new challenges will come, what new safety and security challenges will come, what I have to do to ensure that is prevented. Another interesting thing is the projects have to be executed like tech startups. When I say again tech startup, a lot of people from the conventional industries will say that why everything you are saying tech startup and all. Because tech startups are more agile, risk taking, and they absorb the changes. As I said, the change is constant, instant. It's like startups, and that too precisely the tech startups, because every project has a technology element, irrespective. So you have to acquire a mindset of how I can execute a project as a startup. Then most importantly, within your project management process, how do you use the technologies to ensure your project, and after the project is institutionalized, it will create less impact or no impact on environment, society, and health. And the last 2 parts is, how do you ensure that we always say that stakeholders, but we never capture the stakeholders' journey within the project. Can you capture that using technologies? And what are the interaction points are there with the stakeholders? Again, with technology. At each interaction point, how you ensure that your stakeholders are happy. I'm sure few people are working in customer journey maps. So we need to have the stakeholder journey maps and the project management as an automated tools and all. And finally, when you are executing technology intensive projects and all these things, you must have a culture which needs to be built. So I just try to apply these 12 lean digital thinking principles, but within a short difficult. So in my book, I explained this is only for the process and that too project management process. But I explained how the total anatomy, like 12 building blocks, I explained how do you apply these 12 principles. It is like a manifesto for anybody who wants to digitalize their processes, their products, their services, their business models, their strategies, their workplaces, everything. These 12 principles are the core. So tomorrow somebody asks, digitalization or what is digital? You can simply say that if you have these 12 principles embedded within my organization anatomy, which has 12 building blocks, each building block has these 12 principles, then I call it as a digital, otherwise it is not. Next slide, please. So in summary, so in my book, I introduced something called a lean digital business excellence model. What does it mean? I already explained to you. These are all the 12 principles. And look at, this is the anatomy, the 12 building blocks. We spoke only here, the process, and that too only one process, that is project management process. So we have a tool developed. If anybody wants to assess their project management, whether it is a defense project, manufacturing project, IT project, it doesn't matter. So we can apply these 12 principles and we can give the lean digital quotient of the project management process. What are the strengths and weaknesses that project management process has? Okay, a lot of tools are there today. Microsoft Project or some other tools might be there. SaaS products are out there. But the comprehensive project management tools, at least this LDQ will give you what is the strength and weaknesses, the digital strength, the digital weaknesses of a project management process. And not only that, you look at, this is a 12 by 12, this is a huge business excellence model, first of its kind in the world, which is also available in my book. This is actually, the book name here is Lean Digital Thinking, Digitalizing Businesses in a New Business World Order. Released by Bloomsbury. I'm sure everybody knows about Harry Potter books, right? So Bloomsbury published that Harry Potter books. They are the publisher for this. They released all over the world. So this is, again, you will have something like a maturity. Okay, let us take your project management process, whether it is a digital entrant, digital opportunist, digital emergent, or digital cultivator. Next slide, please. So with this, let me summarize. So lean digital thinking is the way to go for anyone to rewire, re-engineer their brain to ensure that they best leverage the modern cyber system, which is the convergence of technologies. And you as a project management community need to ask yourself, can I say my management process today is digital? Okay, if it is digital, is it something comprehensive in terms of these 12 principles, which I call it as a lean digital thinking principle? So if I want to build a project management handbook, method, and then using technologies to translate that to reality and make sure that you get an extraordinary benefit from the project management, lean digital thinking is the way to go. So the book is available in Amazon, and I request Venkat probably after this session, he can share the links. I will pause here, probably a few questions I will take now. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
Thank you very much, PSR. I think so. You not only took us to the future, but you also explained how we can survive. Especially in this technology disrupted world, how we can survive as project managers. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking time from your busy schedule and joining us today. And let's
Sure.
take a few questions from the chat.
yeah, Venkat, till now there are no questions actually.
Okay, so if any of you have any questions, you can post in the chat box now. Any of you?
Yes, I think there is one question that came in now. No, as of now. So a lot of appreciations about the session, VSR. Thank you so much for your session.
Right. So that's where I request PMIPCC to look at re-engineer, redefine the project management. So I always believe, Venkat, you know that made in India products have to get the global brand, right? So lean, digitalize project management process and show to the world. Yes, we are the pioneers in the next generation project management. That is for the fourth industrial revolution. By 2050, of course, fifth industrial revolution is also coming in. Thank you, guys.
Right.
One second, there is one question now. How it is different from digital thinking?
Digital thinking or design thinking. Digital thinking, I don't, as I said, digital is fat to build and manage. That's where the lean aspect has to come into picture. The lean is nothing but eliminating 8 waste in the any work what you do. Okay, just to give an example, remember that lean is nothing but removal of warm pit, WORMPIT. Waiting time, overproduction, rework, people moving from one location to another location, over processing, inventory, transportation. This is called non-value adding activities as per the lean. If you are able to remove them using digital technologies and ensuring, then lean aspect will come there. Okay, that's called lean digital thinking. Okay.
One last question. How this can be adaptable for construction projects?
Okay, construction projects, in fact, we applied this lean digital thinking for a quality process, like I explained now to project management process as a whole. We translated this lean digital thinking quality management process and developed a software where it has the complete digitalization of the quality inspections. So construction industry also, all these principles can be applied very effectively.
Okay, I think that's all the questions from this.
Yeah. The book name is Lean Digital Thinking, Digitalizing Businesses in a New World Order. I think you search it in Amazon, you get it. I request Venkat to probably publish to the audience. I can share the details with him.
Sure.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you so much, friends. And it's a wonderful opportunity. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, Ravi, sir, having you here today.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you all. Let's move on to the next session. There is another disruption actually happening from last 2 years, which all of you know. Any guesses? What is that?
Yeah, it's nothing but COVID. Yeah.
It's nothing but COVID, and we have no clue when this is going to end. So we are hearing from WHO and governments that the end is near very soon, but it's really disrupting the way we live, the way we communicate, the way we work, and so on and so forth. So we have a lot of questions, including me, a lot of questions in terms of, am I going to get it? If I get it, how can I safeguard? There are different variants we're talking about. We have a lot of new words in the dictionary, Delta, Omicron, and I'm hearing Neocow from yesterday. So there's no depth of words, and I think we keep on hearing new variants and so on and so forth. So we have a Dr. Mansa with us here today to explain in detail about the symptoms and how you can safeguard yourself and also what the precautionary measures. So I do hope all of you know the general precautionary measures and all of you taking safeguard of yourself and your family. But let's hear from Dr. Mansa also. She is an assistant professor at Telangana Institute of Medical Sciences and Research, and she is an MD in pulmonology. Over to you, Mansa. Can you hear us, Mansa? Hello?
Am I audible?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you. Do you want me to share the slides, Mansa?
Yes.
Okay, please. Okay, so can all of you see the slide I'm sharing?
Yes, Venkat, we can.
Okay. Go ahead, Mansa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mansa, Assistant Professor at Telangana Institute of Medical Sciences and Research. Today, I'm here with you to uh, share awareness on COVID-19 and its preventive measures. So, with a brief introduction, we are moving into the topic. So, what is coronavirus disease? Coronavirus disease is an infectious disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. WHO first learned of this new virus on 31st December 2019, following a report on cluster of cases of viral pneumonia in Wuhan, People's Republic of China. Since the pandemic, we have like even after 2 years, even after 2 years, we are unable to come out of our home without any mask. That is because of many variants of acute coronavirus. Because since the evolution of coronavirus SARS-CoV-2, there are many variants, but only few of them are of importance because of their potential for increased transmissibility, increased valence, or reduced effectiveness of vaccine against them. These variants contribute to the continuation of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we have seen in the first wave that is SARS-CoV-2, and in second wave we have this Delta variant, and in the third wave we have Omicron. So let us know the differences between the strains and variants of SARS-CoV-2. And with this brief variants, I would like to discuss the symptoms, how they differ, and how it is different with Delta variant. So what are the symptoms of COVID as such? Most of the people infected with virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness. In at least a third of the people who are infected do not develop noticeable symptoms. Even if they have symptoms, they are very mild, only like
Hello? Mansa, we can't hear you. Hello?
am I not audible?
Yeah, now you're audible. Last 2 minutes we can't hear you.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Uh,
Go ahead.
So, coming with the symptoms, so what are the symptoms of first we learn what are the symptoms of COVID, and then we can have a brief.
Go ahead, Mansa.
Again, your voice got disconnected.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you, Dr. Nam.
So,
No, again we can't hear you.
Manasa, maybe you can turn off your video because of network, anything. We can continue the discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
okay. Okay. So, what are the symptoms of SARS-CoV-2 and how it different with the uh, co- Delta and Omicron? So, usually one third of the people doesn't develop any noticeable symptoms, and even in the people who have developed symptoms, noticeable symptoms, they are mild to moderate symptoms, and most of them recover without needing hospital treatment. While 14% develop severe symptoms, dyspnea, hypoxia, and more than 50% lung involvement on imaging, and require oxygen. 5% suffer critical symptoms like respiratory failure, shock, or multi-organ dysfunction, and need intensive care. So the most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and fatigue, whereas other less common symptoms include loss of taste or smell, nasal congestion, conjunctivitis, sore throat, headache, muscle or joint pain, different type of skin rash, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and chills or dizziness. These are seen in mild to moderate cases. And the symptoms of severe COVID-19 disease include shortness of breath, loss of appetite, confusion, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, high temperature. Other less common symptoms are irritability, confusion, reduced consciousness, anxiety, depression, sleep disorders. More severe and rare neurological complications such as stroke, brain inflammation, delirium, and nerve damage. So, how are the symptoms different between Omicron, Delta, and pre-Delta? In the Omicron variant, we have runny nose, headache, fatigue, sneezing, sore throat as the commonest symptoms, and these are the symptoms given also by the Joe study. Whereas in Delta, sneezing is not often seen, and in pre-Delta, sneezing is rare. And persistent cough is rare in case of Omicron, whereas persistent cough is a feature in the case of Delta variant. And fever is commonly seen in pre-Delta. Loss of smell is rare in case of Omicron, whereas it is sometimes seen in Delta and which is common in pre-Delta. And how is this Omicron different from flu or the common cold? In Delta variant, we have the dry cough, whereas it is less common in case of Omicron. In flu and cold, we can have dry cough, and in cold, we usually have mild dry cough. And runny nose is common in all the symptoms except flu. Sneezing is common in case of Omicron and cold. Sore throat is common in Delta, Omicron, and cold. Shortness is common in Delta. The main difference between the Delta and Omicron is because Omicron in Delta, the most commonly affected organ is lung, whereas in Omicron, lung is spared. Omicron affects just upper respiratory tract only, whereas in Delta, most common infected is the lower respiratory tract. In Omicron, it is the upper respiratory tract infection. Apart from that, almost the symptoms are same. And how long symptoms usually take time to show up is 4 to 5 days in case of Delta. In Omicron, it is 2 to 3 days, whereas in cold, it is 2 to 3 days. So, what are the risk factors? Risk factors. Elderly people, those with underlying medical conditions like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, or cancer are more likely to develop severe illness. The risk of getting COVID-19 are higher in crowded and inadequately ventilated spaces where infected people spend longer together in close proximity. Anyone can get sick with COVID-19 and become seriously ill at any age. How it is transmitted? The virus can spread from an infected person's mouth or nose in small liquid particles where they cough, sneeze, sing, or breathe. These particles range from large respiratory droplets to small aerosols. The time from exposure to COVID-19 to the moment when symptoms begin is on average 5 to 6 days and can range from 1 to 14 days. The SARS-CoV virus can infect a wide range of cells and systems of the body. COVID-19 is most known for affecting the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. Omicron usually affects the upper respiratory tract, that is sinuses, nose, and throat, whereas the Delta variant affects the lower respiratory tract along with upper respiratory tract. And there's a small diagram showing how the infection is transmitted. Well, is the infected person, and whenever he coughs, there will be a aerosol generation. So if it is less than or equal to 5 micrometer diameter, that is considered as airborne infection. Whereas if the diameter of the droplets is more than 5, they will be deposited on the surfaces, or they can be directly transmitted on the to the other person through hand or through mites. Usually, we call the other than this aerosol transmission and with surfaces, this is called as fomite. This is fomite transmission. And what are the complications of SARS-CoV? Respiratory failure, acute respiratory distress syndrome, sepsis and septic shock, thromboembolism, multi-organ failure, including injury of the heart, liver, and kidneys. So once we recover from the COVID infection, people generally suffer from post-COVID syndrome. So what is post-COVID syndrome? Although most people with COVID-19 get better within weeks of illness, some people experience post-COVID conditions. They range from usually what will be the symptoms like they have fatigue, respiratory or neurological symptoms. Their symptoms are wide range, and there can be new returning or ongoing health problems. People can experience 4 or more weeks after first being infected with the virus that caused COVID-19. Even people who did not have COVID-19 symptoms in the days or weeks after they were infected can have post-COVID conditions. These conditions can present at different types and combinations of health problems for different lengths of time. These post-COVID conditions may be known as long COVID, long-haul COVID, post-acute COVID-19, long-term effects of COVID, or chronic COVID. The best way to prevent post-COVID condition is to prevent COVID-19 illness itself. For people who are eligible, getting vaccinated against COVID-19 as soon as we can is the best way to prevent getting COVID-19 and can also help protect those around you. And what are the testing methods that have been developed to diagnose the disease? The standard diagnostic method is the detection of the virus nucleic acid by RT-PCR. In case of Delta, we can see the 3 genes. S gene is positive in case of Delta, whereas in Omicron strain, S gene is absent. S gene is usually negative. So we call as one of the 3 target genes is not detected, that is S gene is usually not detected. So we call it as S gene dropout or S gene target failure. And this test can therefore be used as marker for this variant in samples where we have a genomic sequencing pending, or where the confirmation of Omicron genomic sequencing is to be evaluated. And also nowadays we have this rapid antigen test. These can detect viral protein, which is known as antigen. This is the mechanism of collecting the material will be the same. These tests are usually cheaper than the RT-PCR and will offer results more quickly. But these are less accurate. The results are less accurate and usually performed in the community where the virus is circulating for longer time and where the infectious rate is high. And we have another thing, antibodies. Usually antibodies will start to develop after days to weeks, and it usually indicates a past infection, or sometimes antibodies are present even after vaccination also. And we can't we can't rely on this antibody test because this may indicate vaccination or past infection, and usually these antibodies are generally absent in the early stages of infection or disease, but can indicate whether or not we can't actively rely on this antibody test because it usually indicates past infection or the antibodies acquired from vaccination. And the other test is the chest CT scan and other blood investigations may be helpful to diagnose COVID-19 individuals with high clinical suspicion of infection but are not recommended for routine screening. And the primary treatment is usually symptomatic. Management involves treatment of symptoms, supportive care. Especially in the cases where mild cases, the supportive care includes medications such as paracetamol or NSAIDs to relieve symptoms, fever, body ache, cough, and to have proper intake of fluids, rest and nasal breathing. Good personal hygiene and a healthy diet are also recommended. And isolation and experimental measures. What are the preventive measures? Keep yourself and others safe. So we have to do it all. Protect first. We have to protect ourselves and those around us. For that, we need to get vaccinated as vaccination is available in our country. So get vaccinated as soon as it's your turn and follow local guidelines in vaccination. And to keep physical distance of at least 1 meter from others, even if they don't appear to be sick. Avoid crowds and close contact. Wear a properly fitted mask where physical distancing is not possible and in poorly ventilated settings. And clean your hands frequently with alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. Cover your mouth and nose with bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of used tissues immediately and clean hands regularly. If you develop these symptoms or test positive for COVID-19, self-isolate until you recover. So how to wear a mask properly? To properly wear your mask, make sure you cover your nose, mouth and chin. Clean your hand before you put your mask on, before and after take it off and after you touch it anytime. Patients should also use triple layer medical mask. They should discard mask after 8 hours of use or earlier if the mask becomes wet or is visibly soiled. In event of caregiver entering the room, both caregiver and the patient may preferably consider using N95 mask. Whenever you take off your mask, store it in a clean plastic bag and every day either wash if it is a fabric mask or dispose it in a bin if it is a medical mask. Do not use mask with well. So whenever a person comes across with the infected person, the chances the risk of spread of the virus is high. So whenever you have mask with both the people, like infected person and the non-healthy person, keep the mask, the risk of spread is very low. And this is another picture showing how to properly wear a face mask. To make your environment as safe as possible, avoid the 3 C's. Spaces that are close, crowded, or indoor close contact. Meet people outside. Other outdoor gatherings are safer than indoor ones, particularly in indoor spaces are small and without outdoor air coming in. If you can't avoid crowded or indoor settings, take these precautions. Open a window to increase the amount of natural ventilation when indoors. Wear a mask. And this is a picture showing avoid the 3 C's, which is crowded places and the close contact city and the confined and enclosed spaces. Keep good hygiene. By following good respiratory hygiene, you protect the people around you from viruses that causes cold, flu, and COVID-19. To ensure good hygiene, you should regularly and thoroughly wash your hands with either an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This eliminates germs that may on your hands, including viruses. Cover your mouth and nose with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of the used tissues immediately into a closed bin or wash your hands. And clean and disinfect surfaces frequently, especially those which are regular, such as door handles, faucets, or cold screens. And this is a picture showing how to do hand wash. Usually wash hands when visibly soiled for around 40 to 60 seconds using hand wash.
I'm sorry, this is the slide.
Wet hands with water. Apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Rub hands palm over palm like this, and right palm over left dorsal with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Palm to palm with fingers interlaced, and back of fingers to opposing palms with finger interlocked. And rotational rubbing of left thumb clasped in right palm and vice versa. Rotational rubbing backwards and forwards with the clasped fingers of right hand in left palm and vice versa. Rinse hand with water, dry thoroughly with a single-use towel. Use towel to turn off faucet. Your hands will be safe. So these are the steps to do hand wash, and this ensures proper covering of proper cleaning of your hands. And mass vaccination. In India, we have 3 types of vaccine: Covishield, Covaxin, and Sputnik V. Although there are minor differences between their efficacy, when we take any of them, the end result is to build your immunity against the virus. So we can take any of the vaccines. Usually, the Covishield is 2 doses which are 12 to 14 weeks apart, and Covaxin 2 doses with 28 days apart. You need to take. With Sputnik V also, this is usually 28 days apart between the 2 doses. The currently available vaccines have not been evaluated in children so far. So there are clinical trials going on to test the efficacy and safety of the COVID-19 vaccines in children. As of January 3rd, 2022, vaccination of children in the age group of 15 to 18 years have started. And for such beneficiaries, vaccination option would be Covaxin only, as it's the only vaccine with the emergency authorized for the age group 15 to 18. And from healthcare and health and frontline workers and people above 60-year-old with comorbidities are currently eligible to take the booster dose. The drive began as India battles a spike in COVID cases fueled by the Omicron variant of the virus. This healthcare and frontline warriors and people above have started on 10th January 2022. So these are the preventive measures. And suppose if you feel unwell, even after taking all the precautions, if you feel unwell, what are the things you have to do? So if you feel unwell, first we have to know the full range of symptoms like fever, cold, dry cough, sneezing, runny nose, etc. Then we need to categorize based on whether we have the then we have to see our pulse of saturation. That is, in pulse oximetry, you have two readings. One is heart rate and one is oxygen saturation. So usually oxygen saturation for healthy person will be above 94. So we just have to ensure that if saturation is more than 94, that is mild. If saturation is 90 to 93, it is considered moderate case. If it is less than 90, then it is severe. So we have to know the full range of symptoms and how to classify the COVID-19. So usually most of the people in this Omicron are generally asymptomatic. 70% of people are asymptomatic in case of Omicron. So the asymptomatic cases are laboratory confirmed cases who are not experiencing any symptoms and have oxygen saturation at tumor of more than 93%. And mild cases with symptoms but the saturation is more than 93%. Mild moderate is with symptoms but the saturation is around 90 to 93%. And in case of severe, it is less than 90%. So that is the full range of symptoms and its classification. So how to protect ourselves and others from how to protect others from us, like to prevent infection to others from us. So for that we have to wear a medical mask to protect others, including if or when you need to seek medical care. Cooperate with counter tracing procedures to stop the spread of the virus. If testing is not available, if you think it is mild or asymptomatic, stay home and away from others for 7 days. While you are in quarantine, do not go to work, to school, or to public places. Ask someone to bring your supplies. And this is a diagram showing coronavirus preventive measures to reduce the risk of infection from coronavirus. Frequently wash hands, maintain distance, cover your nose and mouth when you cough or sneeze, and regularly clean frequently touch surfaces. So keep at least 1 meter distance from others, even from your family members. Clean your hands frequently. Stay in separate room from other family members, and if not possible, wear a medical mask. Keep the room well ventilated. If you share a room, place beds at least 1 meter apart. And people must take rest and drink a lot of fluids to maintain adequate hydration. Monitor yourself for symptoms for 7 days. Stay positive by keeping in touch with your loved ones by phone or online and exercise at home. Do not rush for self-medication, blood investigations or radiological imaging like CT scan or X-ray without consultation of your treating medical officer. Anyone with symptoms should be tested wherever possible. Asymptomatic contacts of infected individuals need not undergo COVID test and monitor health home quarantine. When a person is waiting for test result, they should remain isolated from others. Where testing capacity is limited, tests should first be done for those at higher risk of infection, such as healthcare workers, those with higher risk of severe illness, such as older people, especially those living in senior residents or long-term care facilities. So for mild and asymptomatic disease, the main treatment is home isolation, watch for symptoms, and if you feel any uneasy or if you have any warning symptoms, contact your doctor. Steroids are usually not indicated in mild disease and shall not be self-administered because overuse and inappropriate use may lead to additional complications. And for each and every patient, the treatment differs. Hence, generic sharing of the prescription shall be avoided. And patient under home isolation will stand discharge and end isolation after at least 7 days of from testing positive and no fever for 3 consecutive days. And they shall continue wear mask. There is no need for retesting after the home isolation period is over. And indiscriminate use of antibiotics should be avoided as antibiotics does not work against viruses and they only work on bacterial infections. So indiscriminate usage of antibiotics should be prevented. And usually antibiotics are usually prescribed to treat secondary bacterial infections, which is a complication of COVID-19 is severely in patients. They should be only used as directed by physician to treat the bacterial infection. And if you feel, if you have any warning symptoms like a unresolved high-grade fever, difficulty in breathing, decrease in oxygen saturation, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, mental confusion, or inability to arouse, severe fatigue and myalgia, consult your doctor. So, what are the precautions to be taken in case of pregnancy and breastfeeding? Pregnant women do not seem to be at higher risk of getting SARS-CoV-2, but whenever the person is infected, when a pregnant woman is infected, there is an increased risk of developing severe COVID-19 when compared to the non-pregnant women of a similar age. And there's a few studies show they have been associated with increased likelihood of preterm birth. And the pregnant women should take the same precautions to avoid a COVID-19 infection as normal people and get vaccinated after consultation with your healthcare provider. And you need not reschedule your appointment in case if you have any. You can happily wear mask and can get your consultation done whenever your consultation appointment is scheduled. All pregnant women and newborns, including those with confirmed suspected COVID-19 infection, have the right to high quality care before, during, and after childbirth, including mental health care. If there is a suspected or confirmed, healthcare workers should take all appropriate precautions to reduce risk of infection to themselves and others, including hand hygiene, appropriate use of protective clothing like gloves, gown, and medical mask. The mode of birth should be individualized and based on women's preferences alongside objective indications. Like if there is any indication for C-section, they can go for C-section. It is like normal regular pregnant women only. If there is no difference between COVID and non-COVID in case of choosing the mode of delivery. And transmission of active COVID-19 through breast milk and breastfeeding has not been detected to date, and there is no reason to avoid a stop breastfeeding. And in communities where COVID-19 is prevalent, breastfeeding can be given. Breastfeeding improves survival and provides lifelong health and development advantages to newborn and infants. Breastfeeding also improves the health of mothers. And if at all, can women with confirmed suspected COVID-19 breastfeed? Yes, absolutely, they can give their breastfeed if they want to give. But in such cases, you should follow the precautions like washing hands regularly, wear a mask, and following cough ethics, and routinely clean and disinfect in surfaces that mothers have touched. It is important to replace medical masks as soon as they are damp and dispose of immediately. Following delivery, should a baby still be immediately placed skin to skin and kangaroo mother care? Yes, definitely they can give immediate and continuous skin to skin care, including kangaroo mother care, improves the temperature control of newborns and is associated with improved survival among newborn babies. And placing the newborn close to the mother also enables early initiation of breastfeeding, which also reduces mortality. If you are too unwell and unable to give breastfeed to your baby, you can consider these two options like expressing milk or donor human milk. And even if these options are not available, you can ask the other women to breastfeed your child, or if it is not possible, you can give infant formula milk with measures to ensure it is feasible, correctly prepared, safe, and sustainable. COVID-19 and children.
Doctor, can I ask you to take some questions? There's a series of questions coming up as we are top of the hour.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I can moderate, Venkat.
go ahead, Praveer.
Thank you. There's a question, doctor. During wave 2 Delta, doctors prescribed a huge set of medicines, and now I hear that the antibiotic and paracetamol and vitamin tablets. My question is this medicines effective, and why their prescription has changed so drastically?
Because in initial phase, like in Delta wave, the lungs are more lungs are affected. Lungs are the most common organ to be infected, and where we have the infections, lung and respiratory tract infections, and the complications like pneumonia. But we haven't seen any pneumonia or ARDS in case of Omicron strain because it usually affects the upper respiratory tract infection. So no need of taking any antibiotics or steroids if it is mild to moderate cases.
Okay. The second question I have is during current Omicron wave impacts newborn and infants too.
I didn't understand.
During this current Omicron, does it impact the newborn and infants?
No, there are no evidence that we can say like exactly like it impacts the infants and newborn children because the risk of infection is same for anyone, and we haven't observed any increase in the number of cases in case number of infections in newborn and children.
Okay, great, thanks. Is it appropriate first to put surgical mask and over it N95, as I have observed many people putting in this way?
No, it is not any hard and fast rule to keep surgical mask over N95. N95 itself can protect you from the infection. If at all you want to wear any, you can wear either way.
Yeah. Venkat, can you put
But
this
whenever
slide?
you use fabric mask, it is better to keep surgical mask over your fabric mask because fabric mask protection is rate is only 50 to 60%. But when you use along with the surgical another mask, not only surgical, if you use two masks in case of that, 90% of the protection you can achieve.
Okay, great. Venkat, there is a request for putting the slide of difference between flu and Omicron symptoms. Can you try that? Okay, the next question I have is, can you please share the difference? Okay, right. That is, anyway, you are sharing that. If 2 doses of Covishield taken, is it all right to have a booster dose of Covaxin or Sputnik?
Yeah, you can take any vaccine available.
Okay. Third dose can be anything, booster dose.
Third dose can be anything because there are mixed studies. So if you have finished fully vaccinated for Covishield, if you take Covaxin, there are studies favoring that like Covishield and Covaxin mismatch will be better. In few studies have established that, but in few studies it is like you can take any of the vaccine, or it is better to take Covishield if you have taken already Covishield. So there is a mixed opinion among all these things. So if any vaccine is available for boosters, you can go for that. It's not hard. It's not like very rigid to take only Covishield or Covaxin or Sputnik. So booster dose can be anything.
So another question is, what should be the duration? Though they are saying 9 months, what should be the duration after second dose?
Ideally, it is like you can take after 3 months to 6 months. 3 to 6 months.
3 months to 6 months they can take.
Yeah, if they are interested to take like 3 to 6 months, they can take after 3 months.
Okay. The overall Omicron cases in India are less than 20,000 out of 2.5 lakhs. Why everyone is talking about Omicron, not Delta? Is the current variant is Omicron or Delta, which is spreading fast?
The Omicron is spreading fast because compared to the reproductive rate of Omicron and Delta comparatively, it is like around 2 days in case of Omicron, whereas it is 4 to 5 days in case of Delta. And Omicron is more transmissible. Even though it is affecting only the upper respiratory rate, by the time we know we are getting infected, we'll be out of our isolation also. But it is not in case of Delta. In Delta, usually the symptoms used to come around 5 to 6 days, and sometimes during day 8 to day 11 or day 14, we used to have this post cytokine storm. That is unpredictable. That was unpredictable. But we are not observing any this cytokine storm in case of Omicron, as most of the people are vaccinated, and we can say like vaccination is protecting us from having the cytokine storm.
Okay. So is it like one more question, which is like this is, Is it like after 6 days somebody is tested negative? Do you consider it as a Omicron or a Delta? Person who
can't
affected get person who affected after 6 days if they tested negative. So what we should call that as?
that we can't say anything. Maybe either it is false positive or we can say like there is early negative, like false negative, or we can say like it's not his virus has been the load of the viral load has decreased. But we
Okay.
can't exactly say like it is Omicron or Delta
Okay.
because according to we can differentiate only on whole genomic sequencing. But in RT-PCR test there is a S gene. So if S gene is negative, we can say it likely Omicron. Not we
Okay.
can't completely rule out Delta, but we can say in 70 to 80% of the cases it is Omicron, where we see S gene is negative.
Okay. So is the booster dose certificate mandatory? Because unless 9 months gap, there is no certificate issued.
No. It is not mandatory to have a booster dose certificate. Whenever you want to travel or for any other purpose, these two first primary dose and the secondary dose will be sufficient for that.
Okay. Okay.
Booster is only for the personal interest, not for the community.
Right. One question on wearing of surgical mask over a cloth mask. What was the population size on which the study conducted?
Study,
Is there any information meaning how we can call that as a protective?
Steve, according to observations, like I can't particularly quote a study, but
Yeah.
according to the observation made by ICMR, it is like if you keep the double mask, that is like we have a rate. Like suppose if you have a cloth mask, that itself protects only 50 to 60%, just 50 to 60%. So if you wear a cloth mask or if you wear a surgical mask over it, the protection rate is like 90 to 95%. If
Okay.
you wear a N95, the protection rate is 95% to 99%. Or if you wear a simple surgical mask, again the protection rate varies 60 to 70%.
Okay.
So ideally, what we do is what we say is it is better to wear if you are wearing one mask, it is better to wear either N95. If you want to wear two masks, you can use fabric mask along with simple surgical mask.
Okay. 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 Our next question is: people are talking about cocktail booster for COVID. Can you share more info about it, good or bad?
Usually, what we observe is Omicron. In Omicron, Omicron disease itself is self-limiting. So there is no need to, there is less evidence showing Omicron, this cocktail is saving, cocktail is preventing us from Omicron. But in case of Delta, it's like the protection rate was good. I mean, the cytokine storm was prevented in case of Delta, but we haven't seen any studies showing like a cocktail is is useful in Omicron.
Okay. So about this cocktail only, one more following up question. Is the people having some long comorbidities or something like kidney failure or a single kidney? Is cocktail is suggestible for them?
Yeah, we definitely they can go for cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
If they are vaccinated, it is we can wait for the symptoms. But usually we prefer in Delta wave. Like suppose if you say this cocktail is useful in case of Delta or Omicron, definitely the case will be Delta. In Delta, because the cytokine storm and the lungs were cytokine storm was high and the lungs were the predominant organs to be involved, and there are more number of cases of pneumonia, ARDS. So we considered cocktail antibody therapy. But in case of Omicron, since it's affecting only upper respiratory tract infection, and there's limited data showing that cocktail is helpful in case of Omicron. So for Omicron, I don't suggest cocktail therapy. If you feel it is a Delta variant, definitely go for cocktail therapy.
Okay.
In the first 5 days.
Okay. People who have taken this Covishield or Covaxin, can they go for latest vaccine called pneumococcal vaccine or pneumonia vaccine for the elderly people. Can they do what?
They can give. They can go for that.
They can go for.
Yearly they can give. Yearly they can go for the vaccine.
Okay, meaning along with that.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, I think
But
those
make
are
sure 15 days. Make sure like 2 weeks gap is maintained between these two vaccines.
okay, okay. Meaning after pneumococcal or pneumonia vaccine, 2 weeks gap should be there for the Covishield or Covaxin. Right. All right.
You want me to share this slide, Praveen? Any question on this? So between
People were asking, there is no question actually. They wanted to see the difference between common cold and Omicron, or common flu and Omicron. What are the, yeah.
I think this slide will give enough information. Yes.
Right. Yeah, this is the slide that people are asking about.
Okay, I think there definitely there will be many questions, but as we are already top of the hour, what I would request is, so if I can request Dr. You, we'll share the questions offline, and if you can respond and help our members.
Yeah, sure, definitely I will do.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So I request all the members to share any questions. You can send it in email also. We'll gather all these questions and share it with the doctor, and the responses also will share back to all the members.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I think definitely, thank you very much, Dr. Mansa. I think wealth of information today with at least some of the doubts that we have day in, day out are cleared. And there is good enough information for different categories. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know we are well beyond the time, but last point, but not the least, a quick share of recognitions. Let me share this. Okay, so can all of you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so one important set of recognition, I think, which some of these slides you would have seen in January conference as well. Our warm gratitude to our long-standing members. Okay, so long-standing members, we have members who are actually 20 plus years out of 21 years, 21 years since the inception of the chapter actually, and there are many members we have with us from last 10 plus years. Kudos and warm gratitude from the chapter board to all the long-standing members. And to acknowledge the long-standing members, we mentioned about sending out a memento for them. So we'll be receiving the memento to your home very soon. Due to COVID, there was some delay from our side, but we'll be sharing that very soon. And especially the list of members that, as you can see here, with us, there are many members actually. So kudos and congratulations to each one of us. Krishna Prasad, Venkat Kiran, Venkat Sairam, Meetu, Srinivas, Dr. Koti, Srikant, Uday Bhaskar, Satish Kumar. Okay, Shashidhar, Ajay, Nagini, E. Chandramouli is our ex-board member as well. Wing Commander Professor Arkala Kamalakar, Adil, Srinivas, Roma, Suryanarayan, and Srinivas Rao. B.V. Satyanarayana, Shyam Kumar, Venkatramana, Anup, Suma herself, who is part of the board, Saroj, Lakshmi, Srinivas Bulsu, Vijay Vasant, and Murthy Ganti. So this is list of other members, as you can see here. So with more than 11 plus years with PMIPCC. Okay, this is the set of 9 members. Okay, sorry, I'm not reading all the names due to the time constraint, but thanks and acknowledgements to each and every one of you for being with us for so long, and I hope you will continue your journey with the chapter going forward as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and of course, kudos and acknowledgements to all the board and volunteers who are able to, despite of the challenges and despite of the festive season we have and New Year we have from last 2 months, as you see from the updates, we made significant progress in a lot of activities, and it is possible again due to the volunteers and chapter board, and congratulations and acknowledgements to each one of them. Okay, so that's pretty much what we have for today. If you have any questions, last 1 minute, I can take questions from the chapter perspective.
Yeah. So Venkat, one more thing. We have the PDU code ready for this particular network meeting. I'm sharing it in the chat window. People can claim it. Self-claim PDU code is already available for this particular session.
Sure, thank you. I think it's the code is in the chat window.
Yeah.
You can use this code for claiming your PDU for the session today.
Yeah. And this particular code is readily available to claim. You need not wait. The code is claimable. I just tried during the session. It is claimable.
Sure.
Can you play the recording session of the ESR? Okay, yes, this will be uploaded soon. If at all there are any, if there are no technical glitches in the next 2 days, you will be able to see it in the YouTube, and we'll share the link to you all. And Anil, this particular session has 2 PDUs, one in strategy and one in leadership. It's self-claimable. You can try that. Yes, I'm sharing the code again. Please keep it. If you have any issues in claiming the PDU code, you can write the mail to office at PMIPCC or membership at PMIPCC. We can be able to help you out.
Okay, so I think that's the end of the session. I don't see any specific questions, but you can definitely post any questions to us. And as I mentioned, there is a series of sessions, though virtual, coming up very soon. Hope all of you join those sessions and get benefit out of it. And we have series of knowledge sharing sessions planned, and ISLD day, as mentioned in our update. So it's very soon. That's as soon as next 2 weeks on 12th. So make sure all of you can join, and you can also pass on the information to your kids or your colleges and so on as well to participate in that event. And we are planning events like Agile conference and all that. So do join that sessions. Thank you very much again. Thanks for all joining. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for joining, and thanks everyone for the cooperation and the great sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone. Yeah, bye.